Okay, guys, welcome back. Group H. This could potentially be the deciding game if ThorZaIN were to lose it to NesTea here in game number 2, as NesTea in game number 1 just looked so good, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the correct meta play, going for the 3 hatch, but then also knowing what to do with all that extra larva. It wasn't just derp, I have more larva, let me play standard, going for almost all Ling, Baneling at the start to really mess with ThorZaIN's plan to go for an early 3rd command center. Really brilliant. And beyond all that, he went for Mutalisks.
Yeah, just very, very well done. Very hard for ThorZaIN to hold off in its entirety. So we're going to be loading up onto game number 2 here in just a second. It will be Antigua Shipyard. A map that was, for the longest time, considered to be a Terran map, and some would say even now it still does have those nuances for Terrans, but Zergs have been feeling a little bit more comfortable on this map as time's gone on.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is there's just not that much to defend with 3 bases in play. You just hold on to those 3 bases and bam! You now have yourself successfully hit all the resources you need as Terran, but, you know, for Zerg, you also have all the resources you need to tech up to Hive and safely defend with minimal units.
Yeah. So guys, let's jump on into the game, get our players introduced, as we do have spawning up to the northern position here as our blue Terran. He goes by the name of E.G. ThorZaIN.
And down in the bottom right, the king of Zerg in every single way, especially in GSL championships, it is I am NesTea.
Doing very, very well for himself in game number 1. How likely is it that we see a pull right now from NesTea? The answer is not just yet. God damn it.
I mean, I would imagine NesTea could go for another triple hatch play. This map is considered a little risky to do that because it is quite common to see players just go for Hellions and then expand, but still, it's totally apt to do on this map. Nothing quite wrong with it. The marine pressure would give him some trouble as well. But I would imagine that NesTea should go for... Actually, he might go Mutalisk. I was going to say he should be going for standard Ling Infestor play, but NesTea's one of those holdouts who still uses it and uses it very well. Yeah,
the Mutalisk play can be very strong. ThorZaIN... It's funny because back when ThorZaIN was on Mousesports, obviously this was a long time ago, ThorZaIN felt super comfortable about dealing with kind of Mutalisk plays from Zergs, and which I learned from him as we did a show together, analyzing his replays. But nowadays, you don't get as much exposure to it as you did back then. So there might be that potential that if NesTea was to go for that kind of play, that ThorZaIN, you know, he's greeted by a Ling Infestor every single game, all day long. And Mutalisk might catch him a little off guard.
Yeah, I really like Mutalisk play a lot, just in general. NesTea is already preparing himself for ultra standard play. But the fact is, Mutalisks on this map allow you to get a 4th base up, which just cannot be understated how difficult that is to get the 4th on this map for any race. So often with these push-oriented or just army ball-oriented builds, the center is really the only viable option, you know, particularly for Zerg. Infestors need to stay in the middle of the map, so let's expand by them. But when you go for the Mutalisk, you have the opportunity to take the other mains, which are excellent options for 4th bases.
Yeah, they are. And also another great option for a 4th base for Zergs on this map specifically is if we head over to the northwest for NesTea from his main. You break down those rocks, you grab them
to see the really fast 3rd command center, but it makes sense. ThorZaIN was trying to be kind of cute in the last game, do a lot of different things at once, and he punished it. In this game, he's going to do one cohesive, straightforward thing.
Down for NesTea, so he's just gearing up once again to propel himself into a phenomenal game. And looks like we've paused the stream? No, we haven't paused the stream. My sync paused for a second.
Well, it looks like ThorZaIN is going to continue to push down to the bottom right. A surprisingly early 3 geysers from NesTea. Almost never see this kind of play at all. ThorZaIN's going to pop up, see if there's no 3rd, instantly heads home. And interestingly, that is some of the biggest scouting information that ThorZaIN has received. And what on earth This is nuts. He's going for a speed and roach combination. I mean, speed, roach, and baneling, and zergling. Ordinarily, I would say I hate this play, but it amazingly just might work against what ThorZaIN's doing.
Yeah, it may end up doing so, especially if it hits before these two barracks kick into production extremely quickly, and if ThorZaIN ends up fumbling his buildings just a little bit there to try and kind of micro them around. He's going to have just a little, one or two less few units out here to try and deal with this. He's getting the Hellions out, but are they really going to be able to buy ThorZaIN enough time to deal with NesTea's push?
I mean, he's going to need 3 bunkers ASAP, and he's going to need to cancel the add-ons that are inevitably going to go down on those barracks. Boom, there they are. Those need to go. He needs to cancel them. Go Hellions, come on, do your spotting work. Speed will be done, so the Hellions might be repelled just briefly, but NesTea's really committing hard to this attack. He's at 38 workers, so low for Zerg at this game moment.
And look at where he's positioning his Zerglings up to the north as well, morphing them into Banelings, keeping them well out of the eye of his opponent. He did see 1 or 2 Zerglings running up to their north position, and now he sees the roaches. He knows something's up.
All right, how many bunkers is he going to build? He's going to build 2. He needs a lot more than that. Those engineering bays are also going to have to make an exit. They may very well fall immediately. Here comes the Banelings, more Zerglings being produced. I mean, NesTea is just committing to this push.
He's going to have a lot of Marines coming out with his 2 reactors on the barracks. Eventually, they finished up. And for now, though, how well can he deal with this? That's a lot of roaches. That's a lot of firepower. The Banelings on the way as well.
Get in there! And it looks like he's managing to get a reasonable blast off, but there's no SCVs here to repair the bunkers. Repair them! Oh, gosh, this is going to look... Oh, wow, that is looking... very bad for NesTea on attempt number 1. Those Hellions are going to be able to sweep down. They will be able to take out those Banelings, but we're seeing the supply depots fall. NesTea is... he's not giving up.
Oh, and he's going to supply block ThorZaIN pretty heavily here once this last supply depot goes down. So no more units for now for ThorZaIN unless he goes for the supply drop, and he doesn't have the energy to do so. He starts up 2 supply depots in the background.
Oh, no!
The 2
there comes round 2. Oh, a huge pack of 12 Banelings swinging from the backside, and see you later, defense. ThorZaIN has had his front busted. Where are the medevacs? They need to collect together with the rest of the units, and it's time for all the SCVs to pull off the main line and step into the fight.
And the Zerglings are going to try and swing in here and kill off as many of these SCVs as they possibly can do, along with those Hellions. They're trying to be repaired as furiously as they can be, but still the Roach is hunting them down where they can. ThorZaIN is in a lot of trouble having to evacuate his natural. There's still more Zerglings rallying across the map, and NesTea behind this has actually started his lair.
Well, it's a sensible transition from NesTea. He's already gotten up his early 3 geysers. He's just going to build the 4th and keep rallying forward. SCV loss count is quite high. 14 get killed off. Another 3 get detonated with that final blast. And ThorZaIN down to 44. Food still fighting, still trying to hang in, but the Zergling numbers continue to rise.
I'm a little scared. If this orbital command actually dies off, I mean, he's killing a lot of SCVs regardless. He's killed off 25 SCVs right now. Or 24 even. And, well, he's going to be able to save the orbital command. So that's a good, small victory there for ThorZaIN, but I don't think he ended up winning that war. That was pretty brutal.
At this point in time, ThorZaIN can do the following. He can just go Hellion, Marine, Marauder, and do a push in 2 minutes, and that will very much so catch the Zerg player off guard. But it looks like ThorZaIN is trying to just continue on with his very long-term plan. Actually, I don't think he realizes how awkward of a spot NesTea is in either.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, actually. I mean, he's only got 42 drones. It's still a big lead across what ThorZaIN has, but because of the position that Zergs normally want to be in, it's not exactly the most comfortable, you're right. And with the Spire going down, Banelings morphing in, centrifugal hooks on the way, NesTea still does have that lead, but not as massive, not game-ending just yet.
ThorZaIN now steps straight into the Zelnire Watchtower. He will comfortably hold that. More SCVs being produced. ThorZaIN's just catching up quite swiftly. Needs to rebuild those extra geysers to be able to get any sort of benefit from those engineering bays. Zergling attempted surround and instantly thwarted by ThorZaIN, who's continuing to shove in.
This army isn't that huge for ThorZaIN. He has to be very, very careful straying onto creep here. He's trying to clear the creep tumors, and that's a great little decision. But again, he has to be so much into those back his control, especially if the Zerglings actually try to swing in like that. They don't catch enough of those Marines in the back. They connect with a few of the Marauders, and this is good micro by ThorZaIN. I just don't think there's enough.
That was remarkable micro by ThorZaIN, and now we're going to see again. NesTea has to hold up on the production just briefly, but ThorZaIN is about to walk into another trap. He is positioning himself as if he's against a Ling Infestering player. There would be a much more delayed amount of time before the Infestors could even hope to engage, but now we're going to see Mutalisks, and that is going to be a tough defense for ThorZaIN.
Very much so. He has only 23 Marines out right now, but the problem with that is, I mean, yeah, if they were in his bases, that would be okay, but they're not. They're all in the middle of the map, dancing around, trying to put on some aggression, and he's going to try and go for the big drop play here. This could be one of the ways that ThorZaIN brings himself nice and even back into this game, or maybe even ahead, as he tries to put on the aggression. Is this really going to work, though?
Well, there's the target fire, and oh man, it's getting quite low. ThorZaIN is now pulling back into a corner, but he's not expecting Mutalisks. He pulls into the corner. He's super vulnerable to Banelings. There's the target fire. How many will he get? He target fires the full one. He manages to pick it off, and NesTea just did huge damage to that push. I mean, certainly NesTea lost a little bit of mining time, but only one worker has been killed off by ThorZaIN this whole game. Yeah,
losing that medevac was huge. I'm surprised that he didn't lose any more. He was dropping the units, making sure that the Mutalisks couldn't keep going there, and that is a big play. If he'd have lost all those medevacs, that's too much of a loss to recuperate from. There's so much gas invested there to try and actually get it back, as well as all the units dying off. So NesTea is playing this very well. He's 10 supply up, he's adding on 10 more drones, and ThorZaIN equalized up the income, but he has to still take precautions against these mutas.
Mutas swinging right on in. A single turret deflects, and in this position, ThorZaIN has himself a 3-3 timing attack that he is going to be going for. You can clearly tell that he is not ready to attack because he's only at 100 supply, and actually his army supply is at a sort of sad 53. But the 3-3 timing push can be quite effective. I mean, especially given how far ahead he is of this Mutalisk player, and especially given the fact that it's way too difficult to catch up going Mutalisks. You just need an awkwardly timed hive.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, really, for ThorZaIN to actually make anything happen in this position. He's getting that 3-3, like you said. Now he's just trying to stall out, delay up until the point where NesTea feels he wants to make some kind of move himself. And I mean, he's getting so many Zerglings right now, rally to the middle of the map, and he's actually banking up quite a bit of gas as well, so he could morph in a lot of Banelings here. He's not making any more mutas, and this could just be the push. This could just be NesTea saying, hey, well, I'm just going to go for the aggression here with... he's not producing anything else, he's just producing Zerglings, Sean.
I mean, he's halting at 68 workers, he's not taking a fourth, there seems to be no consideration for anything past an attack right here and right now, and let's see. Will he wait the next 40 seconds, 50 seconds to be able to get those upgrades? I actually think NesTea will. I think he just wants to have a maxed out army with the optimal amount of upgrades. ThorZaIN is building himself 2 more factories, 3 more barracks. ThorZaIN is completely pinned until 3-3 is done.
Yeah, that's a lot of infrastructure, and he was supply blocked as well there. So this is going to be hard for him to deal with. He's breaking down the rocks, and NesTea gearing up to try and move in here, but he's actually going to poke forwards with Mutalisks, having a little bit of a look around to see exactly where his opponent's army is positioned. Technically, if he waited long enough for 3-3 to be out from ThorZaIN, it could be a little bit too late, but we'll see if NesTea wants to go for this.
Well, there's the 2-2 wrap up, and it looks like, oh, NesTea selected it all, and he is going for it. The siege tank spread is still not that great. There are so many Banelings. They collide right on with tanks and Marines alike. Nothing that ThorZaIN can do against this huge amount of units. Only just now are all the macro barracks finishing up for ThorZaIN.
Oh, wow, that engagement. He's going to chase him all the way back into the main here with the Banelings. There's so many Banelings, so many Zerglings left over, even the Mutalisks sitting over the production facilities of ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN right now is so up against it. All of the SCVs dying off. There's no way he can rally back to the defense of this. NesTea is looking so strong.
Sensational play from NesTea. This excellent bust at the start. Excellent bust right now. Morphin Banelings and GG. NesTea does a repeat Iron Squid performance and will be heading straight on in to round number 2.
Oh, Sean, that engagement that NesTea went for once that 2-2 finished up, it looked like one of those engagements that you see on the Blizzard promo videos for like Heart of the Swarm or something. Just Zerglings, Banelings, and Mutants coming in from every single angle.
And people watch and go, oh, that's clearly marketing. No one does that. Well, NesTea just did that and did it very effectively to take a compelling 2-0 win over ThorZaIN. So that means that your first place player from Group H is Violet. Your second place player is NesTea. And even though they had a strong lineup, I think that those are the two that people would generally have considered the favorites for that match.
Yeah, I would agree. There was, when I was doing my predictions, or at least doing my preview for this group, there is always that potential for the upset. Delphi can have great ZVZ. ThorZaIN, who would ever count him out in any group you ever put ThorZaIN in? But Violet and NesTea showing some very impressive games, and it's nice to see NesTea doing all right for himself as well.
Yeah, so huge congrats to those fine players. There are now 4 Zergs and 2 Protosses in the top 2. More group play action will be resuming on Monday, the 10th, as well as on Wednesday, the 12th. So, huge shout out once again to O Gaming for helping with Iron Squid number 2. Huge shout out to you, Kelarish, for being such a cunning, dapper casting partner. And thanks most importantly to you, beautiful audience. Mwah, thank you for coming and tuning in and supporting Large Explosions.
And when I get home, I shall give away 4 random hotkeys to people who have retweeted. So thanks very much, guys, for making the experience cool. We shall reward you by giving you more hotkeys. And next broadcast, I'll bring even some more hotkeys for you guys. So make sure to tune more into Iron Squid, as we also have Wolf and Kaldor going to be casting the next group, I believe.
Well, until that point in time, I hope you take care of yourself and play some video games. For now, I'm Day9.
And I'm Kyle Laris.
See you later.
Bye-bye.